Hey guys, so I got another Scisky build here, and it's just like a lot of the other ones that I've built, with the exception of this new FPV system here, which is a HD camera and video transmitter combo. We'll talk about that in a minute. First, the quad itself. As I said, it's pretty much like all the other Scisky builds I've built. It's got the Scisky board there underneath the FPV system, and it's just double-sided foam tape to the frame itself. And I've got 4 of these SpinTech Sidewinder motors on here. They're new and just want to try them out. Got these Ladybird propellers. They're a little bit bigger than the Hubsan, so it is giving me a little more power. This frame here is a 3D printed frame. I don't remember where I got it from, but I don't recommend that you get this frame because it's very flexible. So let me see if I can show you here. You can see here that it's very flexible here in the arms, and this causes a lot of vibration when you're flying. And so the video that I'll show you will have a fair amount of jello. It's not terrible, but I think that I will need to move this stuff to another frame at some point pretty soon. The reason I picked this frame is it has this camera mount thing in the front. Let's see if I can get this prop out of the way here. That sort of fits nicely with this camera shell, and it gives me a little tilt angle so that when I'm flying fast I still see the horizon. That's the main reason why I picked this frame, and it has this little ribbon cable that comes off the top of the camera and goes back into the circuit board here. So if you guys know of a better frame that might fit these components for the camera and this FPV system, let me know. Looking around for something that's like carbon fiber instead of this 3D printed stuff. It's just too flexible, and I've heard of people that bought these that they break pretty easily. I've crashed this a few times, and it hasn't been too bad, but they weren't really bad crashes. And just the fact that the frame is so flexible and that it causes jello in the video is just not cool to me. So if you guys know of a carbon fiber frame about this size, I think it's about 110, 115 millimeters, let me know. And keep in mind that I want to get this camera here up front, and it's got this delicate ribbon cable here that I need to somehow protect. So let me know in the comments below if you guys know of anything. So let me talk about where I got this FPV system here. And this is one thing that I've been kind of holding off on this video, because I was waiting for the manufacturer of where this came from to put out the spare parts for this, and I haven't seen it yet. So this part is not easy to get, at least right now as of this video, which is the end of July 2016. It might change in the near future, I don't know. Where I got this from is from the toy quad. It's something I reviewed on my channel earlier. It's the Eachine E40G. You can see I ripped the camera out of there. And the reason I liked it, it broadcasts in at 5.8 gigahertz, and also records 720p video. And on top of that, the camera lens is a wide-angle lens, unlike a lot of toy quads that typically record 720p video. It has a very narrow field of view, so the video is kind of unusable and it's difficult to fly. Whereas this camera has a wide-angled camera, or has a wide-angled lens, so it's more typical of the things I fly, and the picture quality is actually quite good. And I'll show you a video of this flying around at the end of the review here. So I kept the casing for the lens just because it made the mounting to the quad a little bit easier, even though it adds a little bit of weight, and it also helps protect that ribbon cable. I took this circuit board off of the toy quad here, and it's just connected inside with 4 pins that are right there. and actually cut those off. So there were 4 pins right here that were extended down about, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 millimeters that went into a circuit board inside the receiver board for the toy quad. And I didn't need those, but so I cut those off so I can make this entire bottom flat. And of those 4 pins that are down here, the 2 on the left here is for power, so you got 5 volts. I'm sorry, not 5 volts. It's 1S battery voltage, so it's like 3.7 volts. And then the second one here is ground, and then the third one here is for, it's called I/O. And in order for you to start and stop video, you need to ground the I/O to the ground here to initiate the video and photos. Normally this is done on the toy quad's transmitter, but if you use a momentary switch, which is what I got here, that'll actually serve the same purpose. And I just got this momentary switch off of an old toy quad transmitter. It's just one of the buttons from the transmitter that I desoldered off of there. It's I think it was like the flip button or something like that. And it's pretty big. I know that you can buy these for a lot, buy ones that are smaller than these, and I just decided to scavenge something from the junk drawer that I had, and it fits on here nice, and it just sticks out a little bit, so it's not too bad. So once you solder on the connectors for the I/O to the ground, all you have to do is press and hold the button for 3 seconds, and then these blue lights here will start flashing, and that'll start the video. If you just press the button quickly and release, then they'll just take a photo. So if you don't see it flashing, that means you took a photo instead of starting the video. Now this video transmitter part over here didn't come with this circular polarized antenna. I actually added that myself. It came with a linear polarized antenna that was soldered on, and I just desoldered that, and I got this cheapy eBay circular polarized antenna. I just cut off the bottom part, which had the SMA connector, and then just soldered it onto the board directly here. I probably could get a lighter antenna than this. This is pretty heavy, because I believe this whole thing here was about 5 grams with the linear antenna, and then after putting this on, it raised it up to about 8.5 grams, including this little plastic case in the front here. So it does add a bit of weight. Overall, though, the quad is not too heavy. It turns out, even with the 500 milliamp hour battery, the whole thing was only 60 grams. So without the battery, it was about 46 grams, I believe. The batteries are 13 grams. So not that heavy overall. Okay, so then over here, in this middle section, I wanted to secure this SD card slot, and this part is actually pretty weak. It will pop off, and so I actually used some liquid electrical tape to secure it, and then I wrapped this whole section here with heat shrink along with the buttons here and where the power connector goes in here, just so that in crashes and stuff this won't get damaged. Now for the power connector, I just have that basic setup that I have for my other Scisky Microquads. It's just one of those 1.25 millimeter pitched JST connectors, and then I just have the corresponding, I forget the other one, the male or female, that goes to the battery leads back here. So it just gets just plug that in, and it just provides 1S battery power to there. So if you don't want to fly FPV, you could just unplug that right there. It's pretty easy. So as I said earlier, I was hoping that the manufacturer would provide this camera system as a spare part, and they haven't done that yet. On Banggood site, you can get this out of the, if you wanted to scavenge it out of an Eachine E40, it's the G model, it's the 5.8 gigahertz model. If you get the other model, which is the Wi-Fi FPV, then this is not going to work, because it doesn't have 5.8 gigahertz on the FPV system, which is what you need. And that's pretty much, as of right now, that's pretty much the only way you can get this board and camera and lens is to scavenge it out of that quad, which is about $65, I believe. I believe there's another model. It's called the RC Leading 111. It's I guess Eachine cloned that model to make their model. but that's a different model. It's also in GearBest, and that has altitude hold, but I believe that they have one that has the 5.8 gigahertz system. I haven't seen it myself, so I can't verify 100% sure this is the exact same board, but I have a pretty strong feeling that it is. So if you want to check out the other site, they might have the same quad with the system, but I checked GearBest and they didn't have this spare part either. So getting this, if you want to get this particular setup, you would have to basically buy the Eachine E40G and basically tear it apart, tear out the FPV system from there to utilize it on the Scisky build. Now this may change in the future, so if you keep checking their site, they may put out spare parts. I know that they've recently put out spare parts for other parts of that particular quad, so this particular spare part may come soon. So as soon as they do, I'll let you know on my channel, because I'll be probably buying a bunch of these, because the video quality is that good. It is really good. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and roll some of the flight footage that I've flown in the last few days. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and I'll put links to all the stuff that I talked about in the description as well, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.